WCW and NWO Black and White and NWO Wolfpac on attendance here tonight. And hi once again, Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Stanger Lee Marshall. What a reception in North Dakota for TBS, for WCW, and for Thunder Lee Marshall. And what a way to kick it off. We've got a great program for the next 2 hours.
Not only do we have a great program, Tony, but this is a great time of the year for wrestling fans, because coming up, really in just a matter of weeks, we call it Fall Brawl, but it's also subtitled The War Games. And you think about what's going on between NWO Black and White, NWO Wolfpac, I can't think of anything that would really exemplify War Games more than that dysfunctional family known as the New World Order.
Well, you know, also, Brain, the fact is that when you think about what's been going down between both factions of the New World Order, it's been nothing less than war. I mean, even today, and I can tell you this, fans, in all my years of being a commentator of pro wrestling, I have never seen so much tension, so much animosity as I saw all day today back in the locker room area. NWO Black and White, the Wolfpac going at it, the war of the words, security running back and forth between locker rooms. We're going to start it off with one of the biggest instigators in Scott Hall.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Like you say, Tony, I was in the back earlier too, and you're right. They're yelling at each other. They're making hand gestures, and there's a lot of commotion going on back there. I've never seen tension so high as it is right now.
Scott Hall makes his way out. He'll be in our opening bout here, and I tell you, top to bottom, you talking about the stars. Raven's going to be coming out. The new World Television Champion's going to be with us. Chris Jericho will defend against Chavo Guerrero Jr. As we said, the world awaits Bret Hart and Lex Luger, the return bout for the U.S. title. It'll be here tonight. Disco Inferno and Alex Wright against Public Enemy, and a little return from that brutal match they had at Rough Wild. And we also understand Kevin Nash, Curt Hennig. Later on, as well as Stevie Ray against Eddie Guerrero, and a whole lot more. Well, you can hear the fan response to Scott Hall, which you can't deny. He's got the gold. He and the Giant, the World Tag Team Champion. Look at this crowd at the Fargo Dome, this gigantic facility that houses North Dakota State football as well.
Here we go.
Hey, yo. Scott Hall here, otherwise known as Super Sexy, the Nash Killer. And it just wouldn't be Thunder if we didn't take a little survey. So is there anybody in Fargo who came to see WCW? So that means everybody in Fargo came to see the... Okay, real good. Now this where it gets a little bit tricky. How many came to see the original, the leaders, the Black and White Express? Okay. How many people came to see that lame Wolfpac? Well, I got news for you. The Wolfpac's here, and I'm gonna start with one of them tonight. And in closing, I just want to say that Thunder in Fargo is just 2. Survey says 1 more for the good guy.
Every time the survey points to the Wolfpac. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Someone should tell him when the meteor goes all the way to the end, that doesn't mean he won.
Well, when we come back, a member of the Wolfpac will be coming out. It'll be Konnan facing Scott Hall. NWO against NWO, live from Fargo, North Dakota. Next.
This portion of Thunder is brought to you by Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics. People who know use Valvoline.
Well, that one familiar howl will get them off their seat once again here in the Fargo Dome. And that will usher in a member of the Wolfpac, and that'll be K-Dog, or Konnan, if you will, to face Scott Hall here one-on-one. And just listening to Scott Hall talk and the things that Eric Bischoff did on Monday and trying to give us his own slant on what happened against Jay Leno and Road Wild, just shows you how brazen and how arrogant the black and white are, Lee.
Well, it's no wonder that Eric Bischoff encouraged people not to watch The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, because they did a very good job of chronicling exactly what happened in Sturgis, South Dakota. But you're right, things heating up to a fever pitch between NWO Wolfpac and NWO Hollywood. And I really think it's going to come to a head between Konnan, the K-Dog, and Scott Hall. You look at a couple of first-timers. Scott Hall, the very first member of the New World Order. And don't forget, K-Dog was the very first man picked to be a Wolfpac member.
Very good, he's got the mic
Let me
again.
speak on this. ¡Órale! ¡Arriba la raza! Now let me get my bang on. Scott, you be talking about the black and white is for life, but you know, the Wolfpac somos unos vatos locos forever. But more importantly than that, I want everybody to know that Fargo, North Dakota, and the Wolfpac is bowdy and...
Well, you know, Konnan's a very good friend of Kevin Nash, and there's no love lost between Hall and Nash. So there's nothing more than K-Dog would like is to come back to the dressing room area and report to Nash. I did it. I took the big man out.
So here we go. It's our first match here on Thunder. We're live from Fargo. Fans here from 2 countries here in the States. And, of course, a lot of fans. We see signs from Winnipeg coming down from Canada. And you can better believe there'll be some Bret Hart fans down from Calgary as well. When Bret Hart and Lex Luger collide one-on-one in a return match for the U.S. title.
What a great match that was Monday night. If you missed it, don't miss this one. It was a tremendous match. It was a wrestling match. It was great.
A little slapping going on here now between the two men, and once again, typical NWO tactics to try to show up either man here, but look at the focus both men have. Into the full arm drag and twist, and Scott Hall has patented shoulder drives, his shoulder blocks, if you will, going into a hammerlock, trying to send Konnan down.
Wow. They know each other so well, too.
Let's also not forget, Konnan doesn't come in here without his credentials. Former Mexican heavyweight champion, former United States heavyweight champion as well.
Here's a pickup by Scott Hall, nicely done, dropped him down and hit him on the small of the back. And Konnan hurting, he straddles him now. And then look at this.
That's one guy you don't want to slap around like that, Konnan. He's a street guy, he's an alley guy, he's a gutter fighter. He's also a wrestler, and he's dangerous.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pride, and you really don't want to try to show him up. The referee is Mark Curtis in this opening bout. Continue to slap, and there goes a drop toe hold. Good move by Konnan, and there you go.
Returning the paintbrush favor. Orderly, indeed.
Yeah, Scott Hall, that face says it all right there as he... Boy, the war of the words. You know, there's so much, in other sports, so much trash talking going on, but none as much as happening right here in WCW, especially with members of the NWO.
Yeah, I've never seen it this hot. There were times when I thought it was going to erupt and explode, and it almost did, but now it's right to the edge. They're right to the edge. Black and white,
You're not kidding.
red and black.
An absolute sucker move. Scott Hall tried to invite Konnan into a finger lace. No way Konnan should have taken that invitation. Wound up with a boot into the midsection.
You know, every time we see a member of the NWO, especially the black and the white, we keep an eye to the back. Follow-away slam by Scott Hall, and he'll make a cover. Couldn't get him, couldn't hold him down, even though he used the ropes for added leverage. We keep an eye towards the locker room area because they certainly protect each other, especially in the war that's been brewing between the factions.
And you know they're watching back there.
Sure they are.
But then there's one other guy you got to throw into the gumbo. The last time there was an NWO Hollywood, NWO Wolfpac get together was Sturgis. But suddenly, a ninth man emerged out of that war, Brain.
Oh, you're right about that. Oh, listen to that.
That man was the world champ Goldberg, who certainly has caught the imagination of not only a nation, but a world. The heavyweight champion undefeated. But meanwhile, here in the corner, Hall runs over.
No place to go when you get sandwiched in the corner like that and a 280-pounder coming at you like Scott Hall.
Actually, a tremendous move by Scott Hall, following him in, literally cutting the ring not only in half, but cutting it into an eighth, and meeting Konnan right there with an elbow and a forearm to the midsection. Abdominal stretch here now by Scott Hall. Referee asking Konnan if he wants to give it up. No way.
Look at Scott Hall holding that top rope for added leverage.
Well, he knows all the tricks and knows how to break cleanly and quickly before the referee is there. But a tough spot for any referee. He's got to check with the man in trouble to see if the man wants to give up.
And you can't blame Mark Curtis or any of the referee. His primary concern has to be the safety of the athletes.
Mark Curtis asked him, why is the rope moving? How does he know? His back's to it.
You take a good look at referee Mark Curtis. You know, we talked about the animosity that's developed over the months and weeks in our sport between Hall and Nash, the former members of the Outsiders. And certainly it seemed at a time when Scott Hall did what he did and turned his back on Kevin Nash, that Kevin Nash really still had forgiven him, wanted even to have an open door for him. But I think that's all been closed based on the annex and the comments by Hall over the past couple of months. Good move by Konnan. A back kick.
Look at this.
Brings him headfirst down again.
Well, like Hall said, he may have to beat some sense into, Nash said he may have to beat some sense into Scott Hall, and he can do it.
Yeah, well, so far, Konnan's not doing a bad job either, Brain.
Now, he's upped his IQ an awful lot here lately.
Konnan continues the attack, sending Scott Hall head first now to the turnbuckle. Gonna do it again. To the other side. Oh! That was a back kick when his head hit the top turnbuckle. And it levels Konnan. Konnan was in charge of this match as well, but that ended that. Konnan.
Roll up, look at this, Konnan's got him.
1-2, only got a 2 count with a small package that time. And Scott Hall levels him.
With authority.
That was with authority.
Both of these men taking their toll upon each other, however. Scott Hall the first to his feet, but not with a lot of spring in those legs.
And we're just starting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we are just starting is right. And Konnan, as you can see, no movement at all. Hall will help him to his feet. And he's going to try to put on that, what he calls still the outsider edge.
Yep.
Konnan up, way up top. He's got him placed.
There it is. Oh.
Released it on the way down. Could be it. 1, 2.
Yep.
It is.
He got him.
Boy, he earned every bit of that one. And I tell you, it took a low blow from Scott Hall to turn the momentum around and give the win to not only Scott Hall, but to the white and the black of NWO Hollywood.
And that means a lot to them. That's a victory over the red and black NWO. Hogan's gonna like that, Hogan and Bischoff.
You're right, Brain. Not only do they become statistical victories, but they become emotional victories at this point as well.
Oh, Konnan with a good reverse kick. Scott Hall down, up, and down again. Head first into the mat. Hall gets Konnan up in that outsider's edge. Plants him like a geranium right in the middle of that ring, and it's all academic. It's 1, 2, 3 for the white and black NWO.
Scott Hall secures a win, and this is only the opening bout, and what an opening bout it was. There he is, one half still of the World Tag Team Champs, along with the Giant, representing NWO Hollywood, the white and the black. Well, fans, we have seen just the touching of a war, touching on a war that has been brewing for some time. And on this 13th day of August, 1998, we are exactly 1 month away from War Games. Of course, the featured fall brawl, 2 rings, completely enclosed in a cage. So many careers have really been jeopardized in that one cage, and I think you put it rightly. As we head to War Games, it seems to us that the war going on is between both factions of the NWO.
We did talk about them as really being the ultimate in dysfunctional families, and what a time for War Games. The 2 rings, the 2 factions, NWO Hollywood, NWO Wolfpac, with Fall Brawl, the War Games coming up. Maybe things are going to come to a head in time for this mega event.
And he talked about Brain, the one wild card. There's been one man who's been in the middle of this war between both factions. We saw it at Road Wild. We saw it Monday at the end of Nitro.
And that's the man. That's the heavyweight champion of the world, Goldberg. You saw what happened last week. He got in the ring, leveled everybody. Everybody was fighting anybody they can get their hands on. He got nailed from behind, thought it was Kevin Nash. It wasn't Nash. Turned around, speared Nash. He's right in the middle of this war. It's
not a good war to be in the middle of, but of course Goldberg is, as you said, the man, the heavyweight champion. A lot more coming on from Fargo, North Dakota. We'll be back live on TBS, the Superstation. Until this timeout, stay with us. Coming up in only 2 days, 2 hours of WCW Saturday night. For the past 25 plus years, it has been and still is the weekend's #1 wrestling program. And this coming Saturday, join Mike Tenay and Scott Hudson as Dean Malenko will be in action. Kurt Hennig will be there along with Ravishing Rick Rude, members of the Flock, Raven, and many others this Saturday at 6:05 p.m. right here, only on Superstation TBS. And of course, for 25 years, the leader in professional wrestling in cable all around the world.
You know why we only see Scott Hudson on Saturdays with Tenay?
Why is that?
He's only allowed out on Saturdays.
Stop. Well, I mentioned Raven and the Flock, and well, shut my mouth. Here he comes, and here they come. Or at least there's one member of the Flock behind Raven. He's been very angry at members of the Flock, especially coming out of what went down at Road Wild this past Saturday.
Well, you know, Lodi's been his sidekick all along, doing all his sign writing for him. He broke Lodi's fingers.
Didn't break him, I guess broke the wrong hand. Because they can still write those silly signs, print those signs.
Well, you always have to check them for spelling and grammar. Don't take anything for granted with Lodi's signs.
Look who is on the other side of the ring.
The line must be drawn here. Horace, your insubordination will not be tolerated. Saturday night at Road Wild, you cost me the triangle match. What about me? What about Raven?
Tantrum time.
Mr. Self-centered.
Monday night, I chose to reprimand you, and you allowed Saturn to give me the Death Valley driver. And for that, you must suffer.
Horace looks a little concerned.
Well, Horace signed to meet his mentor. And you're right, that's a very uncertain look
Nevermore.
on Horace. And Horace almost allowed Raven just to walk up to him with that microphone, clenched in his fists and knock him down.
Well, Raven has such mind control over these guys. I mean, they do anything he says. He beats them up, he breaks their fingers, but he's got something over him.
And Horace has been anything but a traitor. He's been very loyal to Raven. Even though it rode wild, he kind of el-kabunged him with that stop sign. I don't think it was deliberate.
But Raven's selfish. He's a selfish person. You know what happens to selfish people in this world?
Oh, tell us.
Yeah, you should know what happens to him.
Well, it runs out after a while and it comes back to bite you.
Speaking from experience there, Bret Hart.
Well, it's been nibbling. It hasn't really bitten me yet.
I understand. Horace goes face down. Well, fans, still to come in this broadcast. The much anticipated return
Watch
back.
this, Tony.
Wait a minute. Lodi will not let him use the stop sign. Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, wow.
He kicked him in the
Horace
face.
leveled him.
Stop sign 1, 2.
Oh, no. Wow.
And Raven in the nick of time kicked out.
Within a half a second from being beaten.
But Horace now back to the attack again.
And I guarantee you Lodi is in Raven's doghouse, and Raven's doghouse has no windows or doors.
Oh!
Connected again with a big splash. 1, 2.
No.
Oh,
Man,
look.
Horace is red hot tonight.
I like him. He's showing me a lot.
He's got the stop sign.
Got him again. This time very deliberate. I think Horace is about ready to turn in his flock membership card here tonight on Thunder. Body slam on the middle of the stop sign.
And that's where he stopped, right in the middle.
There he comes, going to try it again. So much effort put forth by
Whoa,
Horace.
wow.
He's got him again.
He's got him here.
But still not can keep him down. Raven showing us a lot in a span of minutes here. He has taken punishment. We've often talked about how he likes the pain, but he keeps coming back. I don't know if it's because he's so tenacious or he just loves being hurt.
Yeah, but look what Horace is showing us tonight. Not being a follower and being a leader. This is a whole different man we're seeing on Thunder.
In the heat of the battle, Horace, shoulder first, back first, into the stop sign. And now we see Lodi cheering because Horace hit the stop sign.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
I'll tell you one thing, Horace didn't run that stop sign.
Almost ran right through it is what he did. Raven over the top, all the way to the floor. Let's not forget, you know by now Raven's rules, and that means anything goes, but also the over-the-top rope disqualification is no more as well.
Leg sweep into the guardrail by Raven.
But on the bottom side, this is where Raven is so dangerous. Raven follows him in. Now demands that Lodi get involved. And Lodi took a second to think about it, so he got slapped in the face for it. And
Lodi.
now, here comes Riggs.
That's Riggs. He'll take care of business.
Well, he hesitated a bit too. And now Kidman's called in. Kidman.
Raven's calling them all, and he's calling the whole flock out.
Sick boys out there.
Time to do a little dancing on Horace.
They're all making a statement at Horace.
There's Saturn. Saturn's come in.
Saturn has arrived. He's just pushing them off.
And they're listening to him. They're listening to Saturn. Raven's not going to like that.
Are they listening to him, or are they afraid of the man?
Well, if nothing else, Saturn was at least able to get those guys off of Horace.
Saturn demanding that Raven stand up. And Horace hits Saturn.
And Saturn came to help Horace.
Horace owes this man a debt of gratitude. He repaid it with a forearm to the back of the neck. Now they're all...
See, that shows you the control that Raven has over these guys' minds.
How bizarre is this? Moments ago they were stomping Horace, and now he's helping them stomp.
Bizarre is right.
Whoa! Canyon's now in the ring. He takes Horace pro first over the top rope. Boot to the midsection. Flatliner. Down goes Sick Boy. Kidman in there with Canyon. And this young man doesn't have a chance against him. Flatliner again. It's Canyon in the middle of the ring.
And Canyon wants to get his hands on Raven.
Well, there's Raven. And now Saturn goes after Canyon. We're back to the three-way triangle dance from Road Wild, Brain.
This is like a puzzle with no square ends.
And suddenly Horace, he's back in the middle. Horace goes after Saturn.
The man that tried to save him.
What a suplex by Saturn. He disposes of Horace, and you're right, this is the man who moments ago came to his aid.
Lee, who's on whose side here?
You know, it's like the old Groucho Marx saying, I don't want to become a member of a club that would have me for a member.
I wouldn't either, but whose side is who on?
I haven't any idea, but let's see if we can get a little clarification on the TV title. Go over to Tony Schiavone.
All right, Lee, thank you very much. There's no question, there is a new world television champion. It happened Monday on Nitro. With that in mind, I want to bring out a man who's been in the center of controversy as it pertains to the television belt. Let's bring in Stevie Ray.
You know, Lee, he says he has power of attorney from his brother. I don't know if that works.
Well, you know, there was a 30-day window in which Booker T had to defend the title. Injuries prevented from doing that. I guess that power of attorney was somehow accepted by James J. Dillon. Let's go to Tony and get this great skinny here.
Well, Brandon Lee, you're right, we need to talk about that, but I know later on in this program he has Eddie Guerrero one-on-one, and also the fact that you no longer have the television belt and Jericho has it is something that's been on your mind for about 3 days now.
You know, Stevie Ray doesn't like to cry. I'm not like a lot of these punks around here. When something go bad, they want to cry to the man. I'm not like that. You know, the Giant came out when I was putting a whooping on Chris Jericho when I beat him in a conniption and slam dunked me. So Giant, let's see how good you are. Let's see how big you are. Fee, fi, fo, fum, it don't make no difference to me. Because Chris Jericho has the belt that I was carrying for my brother, and you know that. My brother gave me that belt to carry around and carry it like the champion I truly am. And I lost it. He looked at me with those big brown eyes. You know what he said, Tony? He said, brother, get that belt back. And that's what I'm gonna do. But until then, next week, Giant, you got a giant on your hands. You got a man that's 6'6", 303 pounds, Stevie Ray. And I'm coming for you, you big, overgrown piece of Al punk. Now, can you dig it? Stevie Ray is here, and I'm looking for you, punk. So if you want some of me, don't sneak up from behind me. I'll be looking at you right in your face, sucker. Now, can you dig it?
He has made a challenge to the biggest man in our sport, the Giant, for next week. And don't forget, later on, it's you and Eddie Guerrero one-on-one.
That's right. I got Eddie Guerrero tonight. Very good competitor, but I don't play with the cruiserweights like my brother did. So you remember that.
I sure will. Fans will have more live on Thunder. We're in Fargo. Back with more on TBS right after this. Welcome back to TBS Live here from the Fargo Dome in Fargo, North Dakota. It's our second venture into the Great North, and it's good to have you with us. And as we head into the middle of is this the dog days of summer, Lee Marshall?
This indeed would be the dog days of summer.
But it's still North Dakota. It's got to be, what, 10, 11 degrees outside.
All right, so it's the Eskimo dog days of
Whatever.
summer. So,
that would be the Husky days, I believe.
yes.
And here comes Jericho. And waving, smiling. Jericho's my idol. Did I see that right?
This guy is the Rumpelstiltskin of professional wrestling. Remember the character Rumpelstiltskin and what he did?
Yes, he did.
He spun gold out of straw. That's exactly what this guy seems to do. Got new gold right around his waist.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his hair.
I guess Rumpelstiltskin was a jerk too. Well, I mean, here's a man. We heard what Stevie Ray had to say, and Stevie Ray said he'll get the TV title back for his little brother. But the fact is that Jericho, thanks to help from the Giant, and I don't know where to go with that one, guys. I don't know what the motive was there, but the Giant did come out Monday, choke slam to Stevie Ray, and Jericho walked away with the TV belt. As Jericho makes his way out, we need to talk a little bit about the television belt. Now, James J. Dillon all week, as always, has been in meetings in the WCW Executive Committee and the Championship Committee. They've all been meeting. wanted to talk to JJ about the validity of, first of all, Stevie Ray holding on to the belt, and now Jericho's title defense. And I'm going to get a chance to talk to JJ tomorrow when I arrive back in Atlanta, Georgia.
Great.
And we're going to let you know, coming up this Monday, exactly where this all stands. I think it not only stands with this power of attorney, I think it has something to do with the fact that Booker T has not been around for 30 days, if you know what I mean. So, one thing about it, JJ hasn't been here to take the belt away from Chris Jericho. You know, he was involved with Jericho and all that brouhaha about the Cruiserweight belt. But the fact is, he's a TV champ. He's out here with it, and we'll get a clarification coming up Monday.
We mentioned that just before you talked to Stevie Ray. The rules are very clear, and you know how Jericho is with the rule book. He can cite a chapter and verse, but there is a proviso that says you have 30 days in which to defend a title. Any title, including the World TV title. Booker T, although he was injured, was not able to do that. So there's still a little bit of a cloud that hangs over that as it relates to Stevie Ray, Tony.
And it was supposed to be, let's not forget, Brain, on Monday, Chavo to come out.
You know, you can talk all you want about 30 days this and 30 days that. Eventually, this guy right here, Guerrero, is going to be wearing that little horsey.
Yeah, it was a horsey that Jericho, obviously, although we didn't see it, it happened behind the scenes, so to speak, broke Pepe when Chavo was ready to come out and face Stevie Ray. So now Chavo's get a chance for a little bit of retribution. A little bit of payback on behalf of his stick horse, and to get the TV belt as well.
Yeah, let's be serious about this stick horse for a moment. We're not talking about Secretariat. We're talking about a doll's head on a broomstick.
Right
I
now,
know her.
Well, right now, Secretariat is pretty darn dead, so that horse is a little bit bigger than Secretariat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, back to the ropes. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not a thoroughbred. It's a figment of his imagination. But as far as he's concerned, it's for real. Full arm dragon twist now from Jericho. Boy, I tell you, Jericho a little fire in him this week here.
I would think remotivated by the fact he is the world television champion.
Yeah, you know, isn't it something just when we...
Whoa!
Great arm drag by Chavo. Chavo, for as eccentric as he is, I mean, the man can really go. Got a lot of intensity as you're seeing right here. I mean, it was Saturday that we were all cheering the fact that Jericho had lost to Juventud Guerrero, the Cruiserweight belt, and now he's a TV champ, which means we're going to see him more on TV, defending the belt.
You said he's eccentric. You know how to spell eccentric?
How do you spell it?
N-U-T-S.
I guess that's how you do it. In the back of the head now, Jericho.
See, if you're poor and do something stupid, you're nuts. If you're wealthy and do it, you're eccentric.
I understand.
He's nuts.
Yeah, that's really quite an accomplishment.
To be nuts?
No, whether or not you're a fan of Jericho or not.
Oh.
The fact is he lost He lost the Cruiserweight Championship, lost a world title, but yet less than 48 hours later, he had world gold around his waist one more time as the world TV champion.
Great
nice
drop toe.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great athlete, no doubt about that. So's this Guerrero if he quit playing with toys.
He's fighting the man on the rear end.
Now, you've never been bitten there, huh, Tony?
Well, are we going to do this again?
Well, it's been a week. I don't know.
Stop it. And he's on Pepe.
And they're off.
Jericho going to try to slow him down here. He really draws some energy from that horse, I guess, doesn't he?
Somehow.
Who knows?
I can't wait till they put him out the pasture and see what he does.
Oh, boy. Jericho slowly back in, and that does not stop Chavo Jr. fans. We got to take a commercial break. Those tape machines are rolling. Should the match end during the break, we'll show you what happened. But if not, the TV belt contestant continues. Coming back after this on Thunder. The match continues. We're back on Thunder, Lee Marshall.
Is that a bandage around Pepe's neck?
Yeah, that is. The horse is sick. The horse is real sick.
It is.
You know what's wrong with the horse?
What?
Horse.
Why did we go there? Up in the middle. Turnbuckle. How about that? Our middle rope. The lion salt that time by Jericho, who thought he had the 3 count, is now irate with Charles Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, still to come the return bout. U.S. title, new champ Luger, who won it Monday, will face former champ Bret the Hitman Hart, all live here tonight. And the television champ Jericho, working on Chavo Jr. here, will pick him up. Look at this.
Wow, right into the lights and down.
Great execution again.
Talk about that Luger-Bret Hart match. You know, Luger defeated Bret Hart just 3 days ago.
Got a 2 count.
And I think my own opinion is for Luger to come out here and beat Bret Hart twice in a row within the week, I don't think it can be done.
I think if anybody can do it, a man with the perseverance and the determination and the ability of Lex Luger can.
Into a bit of a surfboard. I saw that fight on Monday Nitro, and I haven't seen Lex Luger have a fight that good in quite some time. He was really up for it. I expect him to come in every bit as determined as he was to win it. I think he'll be equally determined to keep it as he fights Bret Hart on Thunder.
And who knows, it may touch off another war, another fire between factions of the NWO. Stay with us. It's all still to come. Here comes Chavo, though, mounting the comeback.
Ooh.
How about that one poke to the eyes will end all of that. Chavo gets kicked, a reverse spin kick that time, sending Chavo Jr. crashing to the mat. Now look at Jericho. Not so much of a smart look on his face, or a cocky look on his face, more determined, and that means a lot of low blows. And stretching the rules.
Well, he's gonna have to. He realizes Guerrero will do anything, and he's aware of that. The man's goofy as a bedbug.
You're right, not only is he a quality wrestler, but he is wound up tighter than a $2 watch.
How about Stevie Ray, fresh off of that loss on Monday, coming out here? He's got Eddie tonight, but he wants the Giant next week here on this program on TBS. Stevie Ray and the Giant?
You got to be nuts challenging the Giant.
Stevie Ray is one brave man. He's very confident in his abilities. It doesn't matter to him how big they are. We're yet to find out if the Giants accepted that, but I'm sure he will. And down goes Chavo again on a great spin wheel kick from the World Television Champ Jericho. Here's a cover. Kicked out.
That's all well and good, Tony. Everybody heard what Stevie Ray said to you, but the other thing he said is he's going to get his brother's belt back. Well, you don't get the World TV belt back by picking fights with a guy that's 7'4", and the one man we've really yet to hear from is Booker T. Whoa, what a move by Chavo.
Has anybody talked to Booker T?
Not me.
No.
Not me.
Oh, well.
Mike Tenay has tried, and if he doesn't talk to you on the phone, nobody does. To the side of the head. Rocky the head of Jericho back. Great European uppercut there by Chavo Jr. Shoots him into the other corner.
Wow,
he got a lot of force behind that one.
Hey, he could have him here. He does things right.
He's got it.
He's got him.
What a punch into a bulldog and a cover.
1, 2.
Got him. Did he get him?
No.
2. Oh, wow.
How
Right
about that? Had him down.
Follow it up now. Follow it up now, and you got him.
Extra added spring off that middle rope for that bulldog, but still couldn't keep Jericho down.
Turn it up.
Chavo trying to escape. Back elbow, standing switch, and a pickup. He's got him again. Atomic drop. Head first to the turnbuckle.
Now get him out of that counter. Put him in the middle of that ring.
Jericho's got Pepe. He's got the horse.
He's going to destroy the horse again. Oh, he's really beating the stuffings out of the horse this time. And then he runs it. 1, 2, 3.
Did he get him?
Yes, he did. No.
Two count. 2 count.
I thought he had him.
Oh, the arm was on the way down. I had called it 3, but not yet. Not yet. But he goes on the outside as Chavo in a hefty clothesline from the TV champ.
And look at the horse. His head fell off.
Of course it did.
It's a stick toy, for crying out loud. It's a doll on a stick.
But don't. He's got another one. It's almost combination horse baseball bat.
Pepe's just been traded in on a Clydesdale. Look at that. It's on a bat.
And he whacked Jericho. He's going to ride the horse around the ring. And by using this stick horse, Jericho will retain the belt by disqualification.
Stick nothing. That's like the Mark McGuire model of Pepe.
There he is. He can't even raise his arm.
Well, there's your winner.
Guys, I tell you, for as a weird of an ending as we had, that was a very competitive matchup.
Only man I know with a stable of stick horses.
He would rather take care of the horse than he would take care of winning the belt. It's time for our Thunderburst Slam of the Night. Here it is, Brain.
Guerrero comes across that ring, in the air, nails him with a punch. Now Jericho does a violent thing here. He attacks a stick horse, rips his head off, knocks the stuffing out of it. Guerrero standing across the ring looking at Jericho there destroy Pepe, his stick horse. He gets the 1, 2, and I thought he had 3. Underneath the ring, he Obviously, he's planted himself another stick horse. And like Lee Marshall says, this is the Clydesdale of him. This is the 45-ouncer right here. He rears up, a la Mark McGuire. Back, and it's gone. He drills him, he drops him, and he also loses the match. That man needs shock treatment. Your winner, and still champion, Jericho.
It's our Thunderburst Slam of the night, brought to you by Cinnaburst Gum. Bite the burst with Cinnaburst. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Professor Mike today, and we'll hear from Bret the Hitman Hart. Don't forget, later tonight, the return match, Luger, Hart, for the U.S. title, live on TBS.
Who knows, Secretariat might be here.
We welcome you back, fans, to TBS. We're joined by the Professor Mike today, and Mike today coming up later on. The world's been waiting for this one. And it was only 3 days ago that Lex Luger secured the U.S. title, defeating Bret the Hitman Hart in a classic matchup. The question remains, can Luger do it twice in a row? But everything in wrestling a lot of times based on momentum. Luger really has the momentum right now.
And the NWO Wolfpac, Tony, as well, took a major step in the ongoing war with the New World Order black and white faction this past Monday on Nitro. What a major accomplishment it was for the total package, Lex Luger, to put the Hitman Bret Hart up in that torture rack, gain the submission victory #1, and capture the United States heavyweight title for the NWO Red and Black.
In the same breath, as you said earlier, and you're right, to defeat Bret Hart twice in 1 week is a very tough task for anyone.
And you notice Bret Hart during that match the other day had that something in his hand, their tape, something he was going to use, never got to use it. Believe me, that's going to stick in the back of his mind. He's going to go back over that match and remember every mistake he made. For Lex Luger to beat him twice in a row, I don't think can happen. I think Bret Hart is going to come out on top tonight. Somehow, some way, I know the man.
Let's take a look at what you were talking about. Let's go back and relive some of the moments as it happened Monday on Nitro in Rapid City, South Dakota. Here's how it went down. Luger, of course, had the match already secured for tonight, called Bret Hart out, said, let's do it tonight on Nitro. Hart said yes. And what a match it was. Everything we thought it would be between two of the greats in our sport. And as Bobby the Brain says, when Luger had the heat on near the end, Hart went for the illegal object. He never got to use it because it was the torture rack by Lex Luger. Lex Luger's hand is raised in victory. He is the U.S. heavyweight champion. In the span of 1 year, wins the U.S. title and the world title. If you really count in the span of 12 months, it's been quite a year for Lex Luger.
Didn't he have the tag team titles too?
He sure did, I believe.
He had them all.
Is that right, Mike?
Absolutely, Tony. And of course, he was also a part of that group of the NWO Wolfpac that defended the World Tag Team titles for quite a year for the total package, Lex Luger. And, well, I guess we're going to hear from the man who is in the role of the challenger this evening. The former United States heavyweight champion, the Hitman, is on his way to the ring.
And what's on the front of his shirt says Hogan. And he's not selling golf balls.
No, and later on tonight, it's Hart and Luger, but Bret Hart walking out right now, who obviously has something to say. He's demanding a microphone, and boy, has he become belligerent in a span of 4 or 5 months or what? Ego, I tell you, it gets the best of you.
It must be nice for all you people to sit and gloat. Let's all be happy that Lex Luger is the United States champion. You know, every time I step in the ring, I don't just step in the ring with one guy. I step in the ring and I fight with each and every one of you people. You're against me. You've always been against me. I know what you're thinking, one more big loss for the Hitman. I got everything at stake tonight. One more big loss, and that'll be the big loss that'll put me back at your mercy. But let me tell you something. It's not gonna happen tonight, and it's not gonna happen here. You are gonna see that I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. That I will rise to the occasion. And Lex Luger, you won't be able to railroad me into any kind of match tonight, because tonight I am 100% ready. You may be big and strong and have muscles coming out of your ears, but Lex Luger and all you scum out there in the audience and all you people out there watching from coast to coast, I'm gonna enjoy kicking the living crap out of Lex Luger tonight. I will win back my championship belt. And you people are gonna be sorry that you ever made my life a living hell. Lex Luger, you're gonna be excellently executed by the Hitman. Like it or love it.
I don't think there's any question he is ready. I mean, that's an afterthought, but determined is another word that comes to mind here, Mike.
And he talks about the fans gloating, the fans happy that Luger won the title. Well, can you expect anything less after the total disrespect that Bret Hart has had for the WCW fans?
And he's working himself up into a lather. He's ready.
Tag team action when we come back. We're live from Fargo, North Dakota, the Fargo Dome. We'll be right back on Thunder. Welcome back, fans, to Thunder here on TBS. Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and the Professor Mike today. Want to let you know that tomorrow, tickets go on sale for Fall Brawl. That's right, Fall Brawl. It'll be held at the Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's kind of been the home for Fall Brawl the past couple of years. We're back in Winston-Salem, and tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at the Coliseum box office in all Ticketmaster locations. A couple other big on sale this coming weekend, this Saturday, August 15th. Tickets go on sale for the October pay-per-view, as you know, Halloween Havoc. This year it'll be Sunday, October 25th in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. Tickets to the box office and Ticketmaster on sale this Saturday. Plus Konnan and the Nitro Girls will be at the box office Saturday at 10 a.m. I guess I can continue to talk because the only thing going on now is disco dancing. Also this Saturday, tickets go on sale for Thunder coming to the Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. That date is Thursday, September 10th. Tickets go on sale this Saturday at the Arena box office and Ticketmaster. Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, will be at the Rupp Arena box office with tickets go on sale this Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. Well, here come Alex Wright and Tokyo Magnum. How about that? Been a lot of friction between these two men over the past few days, Mike.
Well, there certainly has been, Tony, and this is going to be a rematch, a return bout from the recent Road Wild pay-per-view event in Sturgis when the Public Enemy defeated the tag team of Alex Wright and the Disco Inferno. If you remember back to this past Saturday, Flyboy Rocco Rock, Johnny Grunge, they put Disco through that three-table stack, and that was shortly after the interference from Tokyo Magnum had backfired, and this man, Alex Wright, had walked out on his own tag team partner, the Disco Inferno. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these three will be able to get along. Will they be able to coexist in this rematch?
Well, I noticed Disco Inferno didn't like it when they cut his music off and then went to Alex Wright's music. Well, like you were saying, they put Disco Inferno on top of those three tables, and then Rocco Rock climbed the scaffolding, had to be up 35 feet, and dove and took him right through those tables.
Here comes Public Enemy, and also I want to say hello to our fans in Providence, Rhode Island, Greenville, South Carolina, Peoria, Illinois, Chicago, and Miami. We're going to be giving you information about Thunders, Nitros, and wrestling events coming your way through the remainder of the month of August and even into September. Well, Public Enemy out, as you so described, Mike, today. It was a very bizarre, what turned into a street fight at Road Wild. And then really, I think that match kind of named it. It named it Wild, and it was right out there on the road as well.
And Tony, if you think back to that matchup, it began under regular tag team rules. And at that point in time, the Disco Inferno and Alex Wright were in total control of the matchup. They maybe got a little overconfident at that point when they demanded a Sturgis street fight, played right into the hands of the Public Enemy, and the Public Enemy just took over from there.
Is that what we called it, a Sturgis street fight?
I just had to embellish it a little bit.
Well, why not? I mean, it's Sturgis, and it was a street fight, and here we go for this tag team matchup. Look at the quickness of Alex Wright. And Rocco Rock runs right into it and gets a back body drop all the way to the floor here. And Tokyo Magnum on the right side over there doing some dancing. Baseball slide drop kick. And Alex Wright with some newfound intensity here. Look at this.
Almost as if Alex Wright is treating this as a street fight right out to the floor, then brings Flyboy Rocco Rock back into the ring. Alex up on the top. Well, he committed himself to the top rope, and that move backfired.
Well, the dirtier you get, Brain, the more Public Enemy likes it.
How would you like Public Enemy as house guest? How do you think Johnny Grunge would leave your room?
I wouldn't even let him in my hotel room, much less my house. Down goes Rocco Rock.
They destroy everything.
Excellent counter move by Alex Wright with the front suplex. Tries the double axe handle off the top, and that was blocked by Flyboy.
Right cross that time, and boy, Alex Wright undaunted. He picks him up belly to back. Nice power move that time from Das Wunderkind. And here's what we're seeing that we've known so far. Look at this. The man can wrestle. The man can go. The man's got deceptive power. But the man wants to dance. Well, whatever. Up on top, and he lands on the knees. And what cost him there was all that dancing beforehand.
That's right.
Yeah, and then telegraphed the move, allowing Flyboy to counter. Got the knees up, the atomic drop, and inverted atomic drop from his partner, Johnny Grunge, as they double team on Alex Wright.
Alex Wright, did he make a tag or not? He did, but Disco Inferno not too quick to come in here. He's trying to look. You can see the concern on the face of the Disco Inferno as he hooks up here with Johnny Grunge. Johnny Grunge is nothing but a brawler. There's nothing fancy, no textbook holds for Johnny Grunge. He's just going to beat you into submission or clothesline you down. Back body, not really a back body drop, front drop that time. Face first, and Disco Inferno for a fleeting moment thought he was going to get hung up on the top rope there.
Now then, as soon as Disco gets up, he gets the double clothesline. Alex Wright down to the floor. Public Enemy just continues to have their way with Disco Inferno.
Now once again, two teams that you would think in many regards evenly matched, but a lot of times it's the motivation. It's a hot streak. It's how things are settling for you right now. Just ask Lex Luger. He's red hot. Uppercut, European uppercut. Johnny Grunge to the ropes. Holds his ground as he sends Alex for the ride. Picks him up and deposits the man on the mat.
Tilt-a-whirl slam by the big man.
Oh, it's furniture time.
Table brought into play.
Yeah, Mickey J, the referee, warning Johnny Grunge of the use of the table. And you see walking down below, Tokyo Magnum.
When has that ever stopped him?
Alex Wright has called for Tokyo Magnum to come and get him off the table. And Tokyo, I think Tokyo didn't understand what Alex was trying to tell him.
No, he didn't understand anything.
No, he didn't. You had a man from Germany talking to a man from Japan, and there's a reverse neck breaker and a winner. Alex Wright and the Disco Inferno going to win. But wrong place, wrong time for the young man, Tokyo Magnum.
Tokyo Magnum took the bullet for the tag team. Alex Wright answers the Hangman's Noose neckbreaker on Johnny Grunge. Whoa! The monster is not only back, the monster Ming is on the loose.
He is loose as right. Tongan death grip to Alex Wright.
Where did he come from? I mean, out of nowhere, Ming. I mean, it's very apparent. Look at this. They're trying to get away from him, and they can't. There's another Tongan death grip. It's very apparent you don't know when or where Ming's going to strike.
He's loose. He's escaped. He needs to be controlled.
And it's just like Monday night. The result is the same. There's bodies everywhere. Now he's got Tokyo Magnum in the death grip.
Completely unprovoked. There's no man in the ring he has an issue with the exception of he just went berserk again.
Rocco, don't do it. Turn the other way and go.
The Barbarian has come out.
Jimmy Hart's directing traffic.
Jimmy Hart sends the Barbarian out to get to Ming, and he gets Ming off the Tokyo Magnum. And look at Ming.
You can't hurt this man.
He swatted away that kick from the Barbarian.
What a wild savage that man is.
He has a counter for every move and then catches the Barbarian, his former tag team partner, in the death grip, and Jimmy Hart involved again. Doesn't Jimmy Hart know any better?
He hair-peeled him over as he keeps a Tongan death grip on the Barbarian. And now Rock jumps right into the Tongan death grip. Johnny Grunge.
There's bodies all over the place.
One elbow, and there's a double Tongan death grip. And bodies, as you said, everywhere. Down goes the referee.
You can't stop this guy.
A member of the security staff has come out. And this man is just telling him to back it up. That's all he can do.
Did you see that? Jimmy Hart just shoved the security guard forward. He just threw a security guard to the wolves.
Of course he did. I mean, 2 of them, 3 of them went down on Monday.
How are you going to stop this guy? How are you going to stop me?
You just got to run is what you got to do and hope he'll chase you out of the building and lock him up somewhere.
Look at that carnage. Look at the bodies laying all over that ring. There's got to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys laid out. Look at the mess.
You never know when or where this wild man is going to strike, but you do know that when he strikes, everybody goes down.
And he is a wild man.
We'll be back. Hey, we're back. Let's catch your breath as you hear the haunting imagine Ming, I tell you, if he ever starts making his way towards this broadcast location, I'm getting Lee Marshall. He can sit here and I'm gone.
Don't turn to me to say he's coming. You'll be talking to yourself.
Yeah, I'll be the guy that's about 10 steps ahead of you, Tony.
You always are that guy. You said the D word last week, Tony.
I know I did. Getting a little close, a little crazy in his old age.
Today he said heck.
What'd you do, Tony? Write a memo?
Well, oh well. As scary as things can be, here comes Kevin Nash. And finally, fans, during that commercial break, the bodies were moved out of the way.
You know, Tony, my recurring thought from this past Monday's Nitro in Rapid City was at the conclusion of the program when we all saw Hollywood Hogan with that steel chair attack Goldberg from behind. But when Goldberg turned around, all he saw in the ring was this man, Kevin Nash, and of course it was Goldberg exploding into the spear on Kevin Nash as Nitro went off the air.
And for once, Kevin Nash was an innocent man.
Well, in reality, if you go back during the course of that impromptu lumberjack match, as Goldberg faced Hennig and members of NW all around, it was members of the Wolfpac that really helped Goldberg momentarily there on the outside. And I guess this is how they get paid back. I know it's a case of mistaken identity, but you know, a move like that spear is not going to go unanswered. As a matter of fact, Big Sexy's got the microphone, and they love him here in Fargo.
Fargo, North Dakota! Wolfpac in the... Got a whole lot of red and black going on tonight. Now everybody saw what happened last Monday night. A lot of people are wondering what's on Big Sexy's mind right now when it comes to a certain gentleman named Goldberg. Bill Goldberg has been an enigma for most of us for the past year. He's a man of few words and a hell of a lot of action. So when I ran into him Monday night in Rapid City, I wasn't expecting to sit down and have a conversation. But when a man walks up to me and hands me a long neck, I figure everything's cool.
This is interesting, isn't it?
I didn't hear this.
So Bill Goldberg, hey, I know you're a reactionary guy. You reacted to what you thought happened that night, but you gotta realize one thing, Bill. I was trying to do the right thing myself. So anytime you're on the road for a long spell and you run out of laundry, Big Sexy's got a black and red t-shirt just for you.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Recruiting pitch from Kevin Nash.
Boy, open invitation it sounds like to me. Run with the Wolfpac. So to be a member of the Wolfpac, all you gotta do is pop for a long neck for this guy, huh?
I think it's deeper than that, Brain.
Yeah, I do too.
Mike?
Well, I think that the long neck was just Goldberg and Kevin Nash's way of admitting that there may have just been a misunderstanding this past Monday at Nitro, but it seems like everything is kosher once again between the two.
If you were starting your own team, who would be the one man you'd pick in pro wrestling?
In pro wrestling, the one man I would pick, well, it's obvious to me and it's obvious to you. It's obvious to the people at home out there. All you gotta do is sit back and think. There can only be one guy. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, I do. we're back, and the fans giving their own opinions here on the Thunder. As you look at this great crowd on hand in Fargo, North Dakota, we're going to bring out another member of the NWO Black and White, another NWO versus NWO matchup here. This should be a great one, guys.
And this is the first ever NWO matchup between these two. We're talking about Kevin Nash representing the Wolfpac, Curt Hennig with Rick Rude representing the NWO Hollywood, the white and black, although by far this is not the first time that these two veterans have met in their careers.
I want to remind you, next week, Thunder back at its regular time, and in 2 weeks, we're going to be coming to you from Peoria, Illinois. That's on Wednesday. In 2 weeks, Wednesday, August 26th. Thunder at the Peoria, Illinois Civic Center. Tickets to box office and Ticketmaster. Monday, August 24th, Nitro returns to Chicago and the United Center. Tickets to the box office and Ticketmaster. And on Monday, August 31st, Nitro returns to Miami in the Miami Arena. Tickets available at the box office and all Ticketmaster locations there.
Hey, look, the mayor of Fargo made it.
You always got to rip on someone, don't you?
What do you mean? It's a good-looking guy.
You always got to diss a town or rip on someone. Can't go through a 2 or 3 hour show without knocking on someone, can you?
I like it here in Fargo. It's a them there good town, then, pal. You know them there.
Here we go.
Did you see the movie?
Yes, I did.
We need a mulcher.
All right. Bell sound should be a good one. Look at the eyes of Big Sexy.
You know, it's not often that a matchup against Goldberg can be talked about in terms of reviving your career. But if you think back to Curt Hennig, he came off that knee surgery, immediately went into the matchups with Goldberg, and they almost served, I think, as a wake-up call. This second-generation star has really been on a roll as of late after the series with Goldberg. You look at victories over the likes of a Lex Luger, a Konnan, a Steve Mongo McMichael. Hennig has really been on quite a streak as of late.
Hennig certainly one of the most sought-after athletes in our sport. And NWO Hollywood has him. At one time, the Wolfpac thought they had him. So he was in the midst of a recruiting war as well. And of course, his longtime personal friend out of Robbinsdale, Minnesota, back when they were a child, Rick Rude at ringside. But right now, as great as Hennig is, anyone caught in the corner against Big Sexy like that is in trouble. Look at this, big Beal.
Oh!
That was a twisting Beal.
The power of that man.
And there's Rude looking on. You know, we talked earlier when Scott Hall faced Konnan, the war that's been erupting, that's been festering, building up between the two factions. And we talked about Fall Brawl being war games. And of course, that event is on the 13th of September. And we know one match is signed, Steiner against Steiner, Rick against Scott. But we're still waiting to see what's going to happen. The two-ring cage battleground that is war games. Hennig moved out of the way. And that could have stymied the attack from Big Sexy because it worked on the leg. He's going right to the legs. I tell you, Hennig is such a ring general, a ring strategist. He knows what to do. And you see when he saw the leg buckle that time, he went right for the knee, right for the ankle.
And especially against the big 7-footer, so smart to work on the knees and the legs. He sets it up and just cannonballs repeatedly right onto the knee and continues his offensive attack. Look at Hennig wrench it, the step over, now using the top rope.
And what he's doing here, he's taking out that left leg for one simple reason. Nash is not going to be able to powerbomb Curt Hennig standing on one leg.
Step over that time.
Smart move on the part of Hennig, you're right, taking away the jackknife powerbomb of Kevin Nash, because I think there's a question whether Curt Hennig would be able to get a wrestler the size of Kevin Nash up in that Hennig-plex.
A lot of times when you go up against top superstars, you got to improvise, you got to use something different. Nash trying to shake that leg and the effects of that move off. He picks him up, look at this. Even limping around, still have enough power just to throw him out to the top turnbuckle head first.
Snake eyes in the corner, dropping Hennig face first across the turnbuckle.
Not much steam there.
Nothing really, still favoring it, but that's still a load, 300 plus crashing down on your back.
Nash will send Hennig to the far side, get the big foot to the side of the head. Look at the determination on Big Sexy now.
Uh-oh, that's gonna cost Rude and Hennig.
Rude went in and whacked the referee. So you can throw this match out. I guess Rude did this to get a piece of Big Sexy.
What? What is he thinking?
I have no idea.
What is Rude thinking?
He just
That's what I mean.
Rude's gonna...
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Hall from behind.
Scott Hall from behind. It's typical NWO Hollywood. White-black tactics, and they got the advantage. As big, as bad as Big Sexy is, there's nothing he can do with these 3 stars pounding him like this. Nothing at all.
What a setup this was by the NWO Black and White.
I hear something. Here we go.
The fans erupt as Lex Luger slides in. Luger coming out moments before he must defend the U.S. title against Hart. So he's taking a chance here, but it sends the black and the white away.
Well, I think they got their message across to Nash.
Well, Lex really the only member of the Wolfpac here tonight left. Konnan hurt with that low blow from Scott Hall that we saw moments ago. So the war continues to build, and it gets even more intense as minutes and matches go by, Mike.
Just another showdown between these 2 rival groups representing the New World Order.
It's time for our Master Lock of the night. And a reminder for you to put a tough new Master Lock in your corner. It's tough under fire. Here it is, Brain.
Nash shoots Hennig into the ropes. Puts that big foot right in his face. Still feeling the effects of Hennig working on his leg. Rude just couldn't take it anymore. He jumps in the ring, waffles the referee, takes his coat off. Hold that for me for a minute. Let me unloosen this tie here. I'm gonna take you apart, Nash, piece by piece. What Nash didn't know is he had turned his back to look at Rude when all of a sudden from behind, right there, Scott Hall from behind. And now the 3 of them, Hall, Nash, and Hennig getting to his feet now, do a number on Kevin Nash. And they lay him out pretty good. They're kicking him in the head, they're kicking him in the chest, in the back. No place for Nash to go. They're bouncing him off that mat like a ping pong ball. He's looking for help, but there's nobody in the corner, nobody around to help him. Hennig kicks him in the back, kicks him in the head. Rude directing traffic. Scott Hall putting the boots to him too. Nash is in serious trouble, the big man. But thank goodness, Lex Luger came to save him. Your winner, Kevin Nash.
Thank goodness for the end of the replay. You're running a breath, weren't you? Luger and Bret Hart return match for the U.S. title still to come, and the war continues between NWO. We're back as Stevie Ray's music hits. I want to remind you this coming Sunday, 16th of August, a big night of wrestling back in Providence, Rhode Island, the Civic Center. Tickets available at the box office and Ticketmaster. And of course, coming Monday, Nitro Live from Hartford, Connecticut, and the Hartford Civic Center. That's this Monday the 17th. Be sure to check the box office, as I'm sure production will try to open up a few more seats the day of the event. Also, I'll let you know this coming Saturday, tickets go on sale for Nitro coming to Greenville, South Carolina on Monday, September 14th at the brand new Bilo Center. Now, tickets will go on sale this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. And you can get your tickets by cash and credit card at Greenville's Municipal Stadium, home of the Greenville Braves, when they go on sale, or at any ETM ticket machine locations at select Bilo stores. And when tickets go on sale at the stadium this coming Saturday at 9 a.m. in Greenville, members of the Nitro Girls and ready for this, guys? Yours truly, Tony Schiavone, going to be on hand when tickets go on sale.
Lock up the women and the children. Tony's coming to town.
Lock up the Nitro Girls.
Boy, there's a line in there. Stevie Ray has made his way to the ring, but I'm going to be very, very happy to go back to Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville Municipal Stadium.
It's old stomping grounds for you, isn't it?
It sure is. Some of the really down-to-earth, die-in-the-wool, true-to-life, hardcore wrestling fans are going to be in Greenville that day. And look forward to seeing the fans. We'll be there for a couple of hours this Saturday. And now Eddie Guerrero comes out. Now let's remember, let's go back in time. You know, Stevie Ray did not gloss over the fact that he must face Eddie Guerrero here, but Eddie came out and helped Chavo. We don't know why, never found out why, this past Saturday when we were at Sturgis in Rhode Island.
And this should be a real interesting matchup because of that, Tony. This past Saturday, well, Stevie Ray, I guess, finally caught up to Chavo Guerrero Jr. Chavo tried that hit-and-run offense during the matchup in the long run. That was unsuccessful. When Stevie Ray, well, he brutally attacked Chavo Jr. after the matchup, it was, well, surprise. It was Uncle Eddie Guerrero, who came to the rescue for his nephew.
Boy, Eddie with a lot of intensity. Looks like a lot of bitterness as he's coming to the ring as well. Shoved the cameraman out of the way using the lens, and
oh, he has an attitude tonight, doesn't he?
Well, usually he'll walk by me and nod or say hi, Brain. Walked by me about 3 or 4 times today in the hall. Wouldn't talk to anybody. Something's on his mind.
I could see not talking to you how that would benefit someone. Side of the head.
No, I didn't start on you. I like you, Tony.
Yeah, right. You've been snippy with me all night.
I'm sorry. Won't happen again.
Bless Stevie Ray to his feet. Here comes Eddie. Ducks low, the clothesline. Scoots between the legs. He is so quick as Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, one talented individual, holds on hard for a deep arm drag takedown, and then what agility in midair. Talk about hang time with that drop kick to send a big man Stevie Ray down.
And I'll tell you, big Stevie Ray, he better not be looking past Eddie Guerrero in this matchup. Talking about a bout with the Giant upcoming next week on Thunder.
Oh, he's not. Look at this. Oh my.
Now, all the finesse Eddie Guerrero has and all the experience in that ring, sometimes you don't know if it can overcome sheer brute strength and force like this big man here, Stevie Ray, has.
Well, we have members of NWO Black and White out.
Wait, it's a scouting mission for the Giant.
One would infer that, yes, and all of a sudden you can see in the large screen above, Stevie Ray realized these 2 men were out. Those are the World Tag Team champs, obviously.
Looks like he does. I still think I'm going to teach him a lesson.
To teach him a lesson. I guess the Giant is accepted for next week on Thunder here on TBS. The Giant, Stevie Ray. Yeah, must be hard water here in Fargo.
You know, you put too many lemons in lemonade, it really makes you pucker.
Thanks again for nothing. Down goes Eddie. He just picks him up to knock him down again. And once again, fans, we're going to have some information concerning the TV championship. I'll be talking to James J. Dillon this weekend. We'll have that information coming up Monday on Nitro about Jericho's title reign. The mere fact that Jericho has the belt, JJ has not done anything about it, lends us to believe that is legit. And we're going to check into the validity on that, and we'll have an official update Monday on Nitro. We're in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, just another amazing show of strength from big Stevie Ray. Lifting Guerrero high into the air, just lets him crash down to the mat.
You know, Mike, if you think about it, you said recruiting mission. That may be the case, but there are monitors in the back locker room, especially NWO. They got to have the biggest monitor in their locker room. So this is just intimidation, all it is. They want to let Stevie Ray know they're out of here. If anything else, they wouldn't mind for Eddie to take Stevie Ray down a few notches, and it's working. Stevie Ray took his eyes off his opponent as he made that kick, but he was still on target.
Yeah, they're out here as a distraction, maybe a scouting mission as well, but judging from the conversation that the two were having, didn't sound like they were plotting much strategy, did it?
I mean, what strategy when you're 7'4", over 500 pounds? Strategy is just to walk over your opponents. As a matter of fact, they're paying more attention to what's in the cup than they are what's going on in the ring. So watch out. Meanwhile, as you can see high above on the big screen, Eddie is mounting a comeback on Stevie Ray. He goes to the knees, to the uppercut. Eddie's going to try to, I thought Eddie maybe try to belly, but a elbow on the back of the head. Foot to the face. Stevie Ray came out of that.
Uh-oh.
He's got him hooked.
Double underhook usually leads to the slapjack.
Oh. And that's what it was. He caught Eddie with it. And it's over. So
Eddie put up a heck of a fight.
Look at Giant, and you can see that Stevie Ray realizes the big man is here. They're almost daring each other to make a move. But that move is going to be made next week here on Thunder when the two big men, and I mean big men, in what can be deemed as a super heavyweight battle will collide. Now you've been hearing about this feature bout for quite a while, and wait no longer as the Thunder erupts here in the Fargo Dome, Fargo, North Dakota. It's time for the return bout. Earlier in the telecast, we went back in time and showed you what happened a few days ago. Lex Luger, we talked about it even after the match, guys, how he really had dodged the bullet. Now, Bret Hart had gone into either the tights or the boots or whatever, got out that illegal object, but Luger's torture rack prevailed. And now can Luger do it 2 in a row? And what does Bret Hart have in store for Lex Luger? Well, we would say that this is another bout featuring NWO Hollywood against the Wolfpac, but we never know where Bret Hart's allegiance lies.
What day of the week is it? We're just really not sure. Is he firmly aligned with NWO Black and White and Hollywood Hogan or not? Question remains to be answered, but you know, Bret Hart brought up a great point during his interview earlier tonight. Did Lex Luger catch the Hitman off guard Monday with that surprise challenge? Yes, Bret Hart accepted. You know, later I think the Hitman may have regretted it. Tonight, it's his chance to even the score and regain the belt.
Like I said, to beat that man twice. Look at that, it says Nash, just like a Nash Rambler. You know, to beat him twice in 1 week and back-to-back, I don't think can happen.
Well, Lex Luger's going to make his way out. He really threw caution to the wind and really took a chance when he came out to help Kevin Nash earlier, knowing that he had to defend this prize U.S. belt. Nothing new for Luger to be a champion, to come out to the adoration of the fans here. They love him here in Fargo, and they love him all over. Of course, it's been quite a week out here in the Great Plains in the West, and South Dakota, North Dakota. And we certainly have enjoyed the hospitality here. But for Lex Luger, Bret Hart is next on his agenda. I also want to bring up the fact, as Bret Hart's been alluding to, that Bret Hart claims that he is a big supporter of Sting's, always admired Sting. Do you really believe that?
No, I don't. I don't believe a thing he says.
Okay,
I don't believe anybody.
Now, I know you don't, but let me pose this question to you. What if Bret Hart is telling the truth? What if Bret Hart and Sting have this something secret on the side, and what if Luger knows all about it? Maybe Bret Hart knows something that we don't know. You never know what to believe with Bret Hart, but sometimes you can read some truth into what he says, and I'm only posing the question, what if it's on the level?
But didn't we see him in the hall talking to Scott Hall just a couple weeks ago?
But what does that mean?
Well, I mean,
that means maybe that neither side trust him, both sides like him. I don't know.
How can you believe Bret Hart, the man that we have referred to in recent weeks as the master manipulator? You know, Hart claims that mutual respect situation with Sting. He can relate to Sting on so many fronts, the lack of respect, the finishing moves that the two have being so familiar, the sharpshooter and the scorpion. But then when Lex Luger talks about that situation between the two, he claims that, well, it's an assumed relationship. It's an imagined relationship that Bret Hart has with Sting.
Well, I can tell you this, one thing that's not imagined is that Bret Hart has not fought back when Sting went at him a few weeks ago, and even confronted Sting in the right in the entryway when Goldberg was giving chase, if you'll recall, not too long ago. So we'll see what transpires here. But for Bret Hart now, his mission is to regain the United States Heavyweight Championship from Lex Luger.
well, you know, Tony, when everything broke loose here just a couple weeks ago, what did Bret Hart do? He didn't even get involved. He just kind of slithered out of the ring and disappeared.
Of course, that United States Heavyweight Championship belt, it's a championship with so much tradition behind it, so often referred to as the stepping stone title to the World's Heavyweight Championship belt, really brought Goldberg's career to the forefront. And Tony, you talked earlier about Luger being so familiar with title belts and that U.S. title. Monday night, that was the 4th time that Lex Luger had won the United States Heavyweight Championship in his 12-plus-year professional wrestling career.
Good wide vertical base for a side headlock, and Bret Hart turns it into a 2 count. Bret Hart, you said slithered. Yeah, you can use that term, but also very deceptive and very quick. Bret Hart knows so many counter moves. He's holding on to Luger. He's keeping Luger very close to him here. And that's been the one strategy so far. Now back to the corner. And Billy Silverman calling for the clean break, which we don't think we'll get, and we don't. Bret Hart and clean break just do not go hand in hand.
You know, Bret Hart's one of those wrestlers that he didn't back Luger up in that corner and said, I'm going to nail him a couple times. He's thinking 3 or 4 moves ahead. He's one of those wrestlers that uses his brains when he wrestles.
That's why he's been called, among other things, the excellence of execution. And a short leg drop on Luger, heading down. Going to cover him here, 1, 2, and that was not really, I don't think Hart wanted to pin the man or even thought he would, but that was just to show Luger that he was going to try to win the match as much as anything else.
Well, the Hitman is certainly a thinking man's wrestler, and he has been in the driver's seat in this matchup, at least up to that point. Luger stops the momentum with a knee to the midsection and now takes control.
One thing you can't deny about Luger, that's his drive and determination. You're seeing it unfold right here to the midsection. Went to the upper body of Billy Silverman, gets tied up with Luger, but Luger will have none of it.
Don't stop him, referee, let him go.
Oh boy, and he enabled Bret Hart to hook him and drive him throat first. Billy Silverman just trying to do his job, trying to get a clean match, which you know you can't get with Hart here, and Hart takes advantage, and meanwhile Luger suffers.
Well, the referee's trying to do his job, but it was that physical intervention on the part of Billy Silverman, the referee, that allowed Bret Hart to catch Luger off guard.
And you know what's going through Bret Hart's mind right now, and I'll tell you, I know it, because it's only been a couple days. He is thinking right now, that man is not going to get me up in that torture rack. That's on his mind. It's been on his mind all week to avoid that maneuver by the total package Lex Luger.
And that really was an incredible accomplishment for Luger this past Monday on Nitro, forcing Hart to submit to the torture rack. You look back over the career of Bret Hart, and a submission loss is a rarity for the Hitman.
And when he had him in that torture rack, he had him so bent he was like a bow and arrow. He couldn't even use the object he had in his hand.
And 3 days later, they're at it again.
Oh!
In this return bout live here on Thunder and Fargo, and a headbutt, and once again to the midsection goes Bret Hart. Hart, a lot of attention paid to the fans at ringside. Look at this. As a matter of fact, it's almost as if Hart, when he first came into WCW, it seemed as if he was a meek, mild-mannered, respecting the fans, but as the fans started to boo Bret Hart, it's almost as if he was insulted by the boos, irate by the boos, and he's even fueled by them now, it seems.
Total disrespect for the fans. We saw it earlier in the interview this evening with Hart, how the fans have made his life a living hell.
He said it again. Now he's using the H word.
Direct quote from Hart earlier tonight.
Well, I don't care what it was. That's an H word and a D word all in the same week.
You don't get your warm milk tonight before bed.
Better watch yourself here, fella.
You know what he'll be doing next?
I don't even want to know.
He'll be drinking O'Doul's.
Pulling on the feet. Oh, watches the catapult. Nowhere to go. I mean, that's throat. That'll rock your head back. It's that type of maneuver. Many wrestlers have said who've had neck problems, bulging disc will tell you that move right there will lead to it because it's such a short throw from the bottom to the top, and it really just rocks the head back. And continuing with that, Bret Hart goes to the neck, goes to the upper body, goes to the head of Lex Luger. And smiles. Look at this. That cocky, arrogant smile of Hart that you can see just mask across his face for a fleeting moment. Now he's back to the attack once again.
And he also realizes that Luger doesn't have to beat him. If he wants that title back, he's got to beat Luger, and he's got to do it tonight.
You know, Bret Hart a lot of times does the things that we really criticize wrestlers for, and that is turning your attention, a Russian leg sweep, turning your attention away from your opponent. Hold on, here's a cover. 1, 2, once again, just a token cover that time, showing Luger that he does want to try to win this title back. And he didn't even hook the leg, but he's really starting to banter with the referee. How many times have we told wrestlers, forget the fans, go back to the point of attack, and wrestlers will suffer from it? That's not the case with Hart. He's so talented, he can turn his attention away from his opponent and still keep the pressure on many times.
And did you notice that last pinfall attempt by Bret Hart? Made eye contact with the fans while he was trying to cover Luger. And again, after he throws him into the corner, he still is looking at the fans at ringside.
I tell you, it smacks of NWO black and white. Intimidation, what they're all about. You saw Scott Hall and the Giant out with Stevie Ray moments ago. And if there's intimidation to be found, you can count Bret Hart in. Now Hart. Taking his time, he's up top, and he missed. Luger rolled out of the way, and I mean that was a fraction of a section from connecting with the neck that time as Luger moved away in the nick of time. Luger trying to scrape up, pull himself up, you can see, but Hart is on top of him again.
Well, the best thing for Bret Hart to do is to keep him grounded, keep the total package right on that mat. But one thing he don't want to do is have him hear the fans start cheering for him and stand toe-to-toe.
See that first blow to the top turnbuckle combination, head to the turnbuckle, and elbow in the back of the neck. What a move it was by Hart, but Luger rebounds and runs over Bret Hart. Luger with his second win, and he's got a big one. Gonna do it 3 times, and that's his forearm shot. top of the head.
I think he's gonna rack him again.
What a rush of adrenaline for the total package.
The fans erupt and Luger sends him on the outside.
Now you don't want to put him on the outside.
That's a break for the hitman, Bret Hart.
Boy, is it ever.
A lot of times the rush of adrenaline you described there, Professor, will take over and take your better senses away, and I think it has here because Bret Hart's got the chair. Luger's giving chase here. Bret Hart's got Luger. Sends him down before he can even wield the chair.
Hit him twice with the chair, then rack him.
Didn't even give the hitman a chance to use the chair before he connected with the clothesline.
Had he used it, he probably would have been disqualified. And now Luger wielding the chair. What's he going to do with it? Wanting the referee to back away, and the referee letting him know. The referee's got the chair. Luger fights the referee. Oh, Luger's head hit the chair. Referee goes down.
Oh, that's the opening that Hart was waiting for. DDT, face first, head first on the steel.
The chair met Luger twice in succession. The second time, all the force, the weight of Hart and of Luger on the steel chair. The referee still down, and Bret Hart.
Yeah, look how smart Hart is, reviving the referee.
Like he's done nothing. But he better worry about Luger getting his second wind here.
That's two.
No!
There was something left in Luger's tank. He kicked out.
There's a lot left in that tank, I bet. He's hit the reserve button now.
Now Hart may be coming unglued here. He thought it was over, and so did we.
He's pulling himself up to his feet.
Listen to the fans chant for Luger.
You know, the second time tonight, the NWO has interfered with the referee.
Got the sharpshooter.
And now the sharpshooter's on. Billy Silverman looking at Luger. He's got it on. He's ducking low with a deep seat.
And look at the ring positioning.
And look at Luger. He's still holding on. He's not waving his hands. He's not tapping out. He's fighting that pain. And that lower back right now.
But how long can he withstand it before he just passes out?
He's shaking his head no. At least he did moments ago.
He's out.
He's out. He's out with the sharpshooter. It's over. It's over. Bret Hart regains the United States belt, and Bret Hart not letting go. Finally drops it away. 2 times tonight. Getting involved with the referee with the New World Order. And Bret Hart, amongst the chorus of boos, regains the United States strap here tonight on Thunder.
Well, when he got hit with that chair, that took the starch out of Luger's sails. Bret Hart just academically slapped him in that sharpshooter. The secret was when he turned him around and sat down, Luger was half unconscious, couldn't tap out. There's your winner, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Well, fans, we got 2 hours of WCW Saturday night coming this Saturday. Don't forget Hartford, Connecticut. We're coming your way this coming Monday live on WCW Monday Nitro. Many of the Canadians in attendance do a little celebrating, and there is your winner. And Luger did not give up, but it was the blackout from the pain, and Bret Hart's the champion. Have a good night from Fargo, North Dakota.
Dem Dare.